And now, Mike's thoughts. The NFL teams are coming out with their throwback alternate jerseys left and right here. The Indianapolis Colts, the Cleveland Browns have both come out with some very looking sexy ice baby jerseys out there. But recently, the Tennessee Titans have just released theirs. And they're going to do a Houston Oilers throwback. Now, I do love me some Houston Oilers throwback jerseys. But there's a reason why the Houston Oilers are no longer in the NFL. They moved from Houston to Nashville. Then the Houston Texans came about. So if we're going to do a throwback alternate jersey, shouldn't the Houston Texans be wearing the throwback alternate Houston Oilers jerseys? That is kind of like the Baltimore Ravens wearing the Cleveland Browns alternate ones. Like what? What? Like this, Coffee. There's some whorish things like in the world, and Nashville, Tennessee, trying to make some living off of Houston Oilers stuff. It doesn't make sense to me at the end of the day. It just, they look good. They already put D-Hop in the number 10 jersey with the Houston Oilers. Sell those jerseys, like, I get it. But damn. Like, at the end of the day, the Tennessee Titans don't really have a throwback jersey. If you want to throw it back to 99-yard field and throw it back to when the guy was reaching across the ball and he couldn't get into the end zone. That's what they should be throwing back to. But hey, Titans fans, it is what it is at the end of the day. I understand you all are just excited, but it's time to move past the excitement, Hoffy. They're dumb. Cue that intro.
Well, they haven't won shit since they moved, so they're trying to revert back to the olden days when they're actually decent.
I guess. Cue that intro.
Are you ready for the best damn radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up. I can push the right button. Jeez.
You know on the beat every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live off 3 speaks, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour. So to head on to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. So check out the blog section as well. It is Monday edition here. Monday edition of Man Hour Radio. And it is Way or No Way Monday. We're going to talk a little bit about Josh Jacobs. Now he's ready to hold out. Dan Campbell says the Lions need to focus. Hines is out. See you later, alligator. No 2023 NFL season for you. And Marquis Goodwin is on the PUP list because of blood clots. My man, that is tough. But before we get too carried away, we have to welcome the right-hand man, the peanut butter to my ladies, the ginger himself, Hoffy. What's good, my man? What's good? What's good? What's good?
What's up, Man Hour Nation? Glad to be back.
Man, you were on a fantastic vacation. No cell service, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I was on Facebook and I see you got to see the old Cape Cod baseball team. That's where the legends are made, right? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was good. We got to, as they call it, the stars of tomorrow shine tonight. But yeah, it was a good time. The boys get to watch some good baseball. They get to go on the field afterward, get some autographs. In fact, this ball right here is from that Cape Cod that game. I got the autographed bat behind me with the guy that hit 2 home runs. So hopefully, when he makes the Hall of Fame, that'll be worth some money.
There you go.
But let's talk some football.
Yeah, I've heard Combs talk about like the Cape Cod thing a lot, and I would love to make it up there to enjoy the whole Cape Cod League, just not the team, but the whole league itself. We are going to talk a little bit about football here, Hoffy. But before we get too carried away, we've got to welcome some people into the chat. I see Nana in the chat. What's up, Nana? Hoffy, I don't know were you around when Nana first started to show up on the show, and we were getting potential sponsors coming into to the show, and Adam and Eve reached out to us, and like Nana's like, I'll go naked on the beach for like a little Adam and Eve. I was like, whoa. This is Wyatt's grandma here. But it is what it is. I see Mama Buck in the chat. What is up, Mama? And Alpha Rob as well. What's up, Alpha Rob? So, Hoffy, it is way or no way Monday here. It is pretty cut and dry here. So, guys, we give you a statement, we discuss it, and we decide if it is truly a way or no way. So, Hoffy, let's get the show started, my man. Let's get it started. So, Davante Adams, Hoffy, has come out and said that the Raiders, quote, need Josh Jacobs to make a Super Bowl / playoff run. Josh Jacobs and the the Las Vegas Raiders, my bad, they decided they have not come to a long-term deal. So therefore, Josh Jacobs is like, hey, I'm going to sit out. I'm going to basically not report to camp, not sign this franchise tag until I get some dollar bills. And I got to sit back and thinking here. The Las Vegas Raiders, they are a team that could be really, really good. They have all the potential of being a really, really good team. They also have the potential of being a really, really bad team, right? What happens if Jimmy G goes down? What if Josh McDaniels is just a peon of a coach that he was in Denver his second year? Let's flash back to the Las Vegas Raiders here, guys. Last season, they were 6-11, Hoffy. They were 6-11 last season, and Josh Jacobs ran out of his mind. I think he had like over 1,500 yards that season. So for Davante Adams to come out and say that the Raiders need Josh Jacobs to be successful, they had him last year, 1,500 yards. They were still 6-11. This is a no way. We don't need Josh Jacobs to be successful. This is a passing league. We have Jimmy G, the game manager himself. We have Davante Adams. We have a good defense. We can get a running back off the street. We can get Dalvin Cook. We can get Zeke. We can get Leonard Fournette. We can get a rookie. It doesn't matter. Running backs are a dime a dozen in this league. A good offensive line will make any C+ running back look good. And right now, Josh Jacobs is an A running back, but he does not push that needle for me whatsoever. He does not get the Raiders to the promised land. He does not get the Raiders to the playoffs, the Super Bowl, or hell, even a winning season. Get out of here with that crap, Davante Adams. Ooh, excuse me.
I mean, he led the league in total yards, though, as far as rushing. So
right.
Running back by committee, but it's going to be hard to reproduce. You know, he had 1,653 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4.9 average. And you got to think that they lost their tight end in Darren Waller to the Giants this year. So I'm going to go with Way. I think they are going to need Josh Jacobs or Josh Jacob production from whoever they get, which I don't think you're going to get that off the street. So I'm going with Way. In order to be successful, I think Jimmy G really needs a tight end. He had Gronk. He had Kittle in San Francisco. So not having a solidified tight end, I think you definitely have to have Josh Jacobs.
He does have Austin Hooper now though. They let Darren Waller go because he was impeding on Josh McDaniels' little way there, and they're like, hey, let's bring in a little bit of Austin Hooper. So Darren Waller is arguably a top 5 tight end and the like in the league. I'm not taking that away from anything whatsoever. I am glad he is out of the AFC West, to be honest, because he was starting to compare with like Travis Kelce. I'm like, man, it is time for you to probably carry onward my way, son. And when you bring in Austin Hooper here, yes, Josh Jacobs did get the 1,600 yards rushing last season. But How many wins did that equate to? 6 wins last season, Hoffy. So you are telling me that you need 2,000 yards out of Josh Jacobs to get 7 wins?
And one of those 6 wins was handed to him by the Patriots wide receiver that just decided to throw the ball right to him.
Yeah, that was Mac Jones.
Now he's signed with the Raiders.
Wasn't it? Yeah. And then they did compete with the 49ers, right? They went neck and neck like in that game. So I'm not trying to say that the Raiders are a terrible team or a bad team, but to say that we need this guy to be successful when you weren't successful with the guy, that's kind of like a minute point. That is kind of like patting him on the back. That is kind of like the FaceTime that all the running backs had this last weekend, right? When they said, hey, let's all get together. Let's get Derrick Henry. Let's get Zeke. Let's get Cook. Let's get whoever else was on that FaceTime meeting. And they try to figure it out. So, Hoffy, you were the one that sent me that link there. What is your insights, or what have you read about this FaceTime call that the running backs had over this past week to increase their value?
Well, yeah, Nick Chubb was involved in that conversation as well. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and I know Cleveland's got some players. They've got Deshaun Watson, a couple on the defensive end, but he is the 10th highest paid player on that roster, and he is by far their best production besides Watson. But
Facts.
You expect that from your quarterback. But yeah, to think that these running backs are going to change anything, it's been that way. But you think that the more productive you are as a running back, the less likely you're going to get paid, because they're going to start talking about you being run down and such. So I do think we need to get this fixed.
Well,
but I don't know how they're going to how they'll fix that.
I've been thinking about this, and I've been going back and forth on it, right? So running backs are a dime a dozen in this like in this league. I can tell you by facts that you can have a plus offensive line and a C+ running back, and that running back is going to look like a running back, right? Like a grade. When you have a bad offensive line, you can have the best running back in the world, Barry Sanders, right? Emmitt Smith. They are still going to look subpar. So with the running backs doing this little FaceTime crap, trying to get, I guess, form like a union, maybe. Like, what is their plan to? Hey, everybody's going to walk out. Nobody's going to play running back position this season. There are a handful of guys in the XFL. There's a handful of guys in the USFL. There's a handful of guys that didn't get drafted in college that would gladly come to the NFL, make $3, $4, $5 million a season for 5-6 years, and take their jobs. Now, people are putting out that meme where kickers are averagely getting paid more than running backs, yada, yada, yada. There's 160 running backs in this league to 45 kickers. The highest paid kicker in the NFL, Hoffy, is about $6 million. That's Justin Tucker, right? For the Ravens. That guy is a game changer. No doubt about it. The highest paid running back in the NFL is CMC. He's sitting at about $16 million. And I think Zeke was sitting about second with like $15 million, if I'm not mistaken. So there's definitely a big discrepancy there, right? But on the other side,
the franchise tag is $10 million, and I'm pretty sure it goes up every year. So I get you want your guaranteed money, but if you continue to produce, $10 million a year is
it is no chump change by like any means, like of the stretch of the imagination. And like how the franchise tag works is they take the top 5 salaries of that position and then they average them average them out. Now I did see a stat somewhere where it did say that the only position that is going down in franchise tag is running back, right? But we also have to understand the running backs have taken a huge shift, right? We have gone to a single back system. Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, Barry Sanders. They were the guys on the teams for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, right? Now we're going to this 2-back system. We are going to a Zeke Elliott, Tony Pollard. We are going to a 5-back system in New England, right? It just, where was this outrage when we phased out the fullback? Where was this outrage when we phased out the second nose guard? Now we're running a 3-4 defense, right? It doesn't quite make sense to me. Like, what foot do they have to stand on? Yes, they are doing production, but you have to realize you're getting $10 million to play a game.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Le'Veon Bell situation and him sitting out for the whole year.
Right.
He was absolutely the best running back. He sat out for that year, and we never heard from him again.
Oh,
and he's regretted that. So
we did hear from him. He put out a killer rap album.
But to think that, them, like you said, just to prove your point, that they're going to just all take the season off and prove anything.
Yeah.
All it's going to do is likely decline their production and decline their bank account.
Right. And to even make things worse here, they are taking away so rushing yards will I don't quite understand this rule change. Like, tell me if you have heard about this. But if a quarterback hands the ball forward, so say they're running like a RPO, and then the running back comes in front of the quarterback, that is now considered a pass. So all those rushing yards, all those 2,000-yard seasons that we're seeing, 1,500 yards, those might be out the window too. So now, when Derrick Henry is getting the ball like this for 2,000 yards, he's going to have 2,000 yards receiving, and Ryan Tannehill's numbers are going to be inflated crazy high. So, do you think that even hurts the running back market even more? Because now, basically, rushing is kind of taken out of the game 100%. It's kind of more of like purely passing now, since a handoff forward is considered a pass now. Like, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I mean, people that are going to benefit are CMC, who can line up as a wide receiver, line up as a running back, but people like Ezekiel Elliott that are known for pounding the ball up the middle,
right,
are like you said, are going to struggle with getting those numbers. So I think, like you said, we're seeing a shift, and you got to be a receiving as well as a power back.
Yeah, and the one thing that really this rule affects is a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. I have said on record many times that Lamar Jackson is not going to get 6,000 yards passing this season. But now when you're running the RPO and you hand the ball forward, that's considered passing yards. Do you think Lamar Jackson is going to get 6,000 yards off of fucking RPO plays now? Like, if that happens, oh my God, that would piss me off so fucking much. Oh, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Well, he's only going to play 10 games because he's going to end up with an ankle injury or something at some point.
Very, 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 very true. But let's move on here. Let's move on to the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions head coach, Dan Campbell, has said, and I quote, "We need to stop buying into the hype and we need to remain focused." Guys, this is July 24th, 2023. If Dan Campbell is already coming out and saying that the Lions need to remain focused now, I'm kind of curious of what's going on in training camp. I'm kind of curious of if they're buying into their own hype. Oh, we won 7 games last year, 8 games last year, right? So way or no way, this is a bad sign for the Detroit Lions moving forward. So when we think about this, the Detroit Lions did start the season off last season shitty, right? They were 2-7 or 2-9. They were not a very good team. Now they did get hot second half of the season. The schedule also got a hell of a lot easier. But people don't want to buy into that because, you can't say the schedule got easier. The schedule got easier. They were playing the Houston Texans. They were playing the Colts. They're playing North Dakota State 3 times back-to-back weeks, right? And then they finished with the Packers. Oh, we beat the Packers. Playing for what? Playing for nothing. Aaron Rodgers was checked out. That whole game didn't mean nothing. So, guys, this is a terrible sign for the Detroit Lions. If they're already having problems remaining focused during OTAs and training camps and buying into their own hype, this is going to be a crash and burn for the Detroit Lions in the 2023 season. This could be a very, very long season for you Detroit Lions fans. You guys better pump the brakes. You guys better get C.J. Garner in check. Well, first of all, got to get him back on the field after his knee injury. You better get Jared Goff in check. You better get Gibbs in check. You guys better figure it out real freaking quick, or it is Hoffy. They're going to have a long season. I'm talking like 5-12 type of season.
Yeah, I don't buy the hype at all. I mean, every offensive stat, them versus their opponent, was not good. I mean, they 376 first downs. Their opponents had 377. I mean, first downs, third down conversion, every offensive category, their opponent beat them at. So you can't expect them to. I don't expect them to have a big season. I expect Raiders numbers, 6-11.
So hang on here. Are you telling me that the Detroit Lions don't have the best offense in the North? Are you telling me the Detroit Lions don't have the best defense in the North? Are you telling me that the Detroit Lions are not the God's greatest thing to walk this earth? Whoa. Detroit Lions fans, don't bite off Hoffy's head yet, because he's right. The Detroit Lions hype is not real. I've said it once, and I'll say it again. They had an easy-ass schedule last year. This year gets a little bit harder. Packers are for real. Vikings are for real. Hell, the Bears are for real. That tasted bad coming out of my mouth. Wow. But see,
wipe up that spit up on your chest.
I know. Shit. Hey, don't be jealous. Don't be jealous of the Chiefs. I mean, I understand you don't have a Super Bowl in the last couple years. 2 out of 4 for us is pretty good, man. Simmer down now. Speaking of being good, there's a team out there in the AFC East that has high hopes for their 2023 NFL season. Super Bowl or bust. Well, there's a player that is not going to be a part of that Super Bowl run or bust, and that is Nyheim Hines. Bills running back Nyheim Hines will miss the entire 2023 NFL season after a jet ski injury, tearing his ACL over this past weekend. So, guys, way or no way, this is a huge loss for the Buffalo Bills. One thing, Hoffy, about the Buffalo Bills is they are a team that has kind of forgot how to run the ball anyways. They are a very pass-happy team. If my memory serves me right, they are like an 85 to 90% passing team in the NFL. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to line up and they're going to fling the rock across the field. So no way this is a huge loss for them, because they've been kind of interested in Dalvin Cook anyways, right? They've been trying to figure out ways of how to bring in the Cook brothers and make them cook, right? And with Nyheim Hines out for the 2023 NFL season, all season long, they've already scratched him for the entire year. This is a perfect chance to bring in a player like Dalvin Cook, like a Leonard Fournette, like a Zeke Elliott. Talking about use them and abuse them, mean like use them and abuse them, right? This is not a huge loss for the Buffalo Bills because they don't run the ball anyways. It's kind of a minute point at the end of the day. I'm sorry that he got injured on a jet ski. How do you tear your ACL on a jet ski? I would have liked to seen that accident. Like, what the fuck were you doing? But it is what it is. I mean, sheesh.
Well, they also added Damian Harris,
right?
The Patriots running back, who he is a power back. I mean, I know their running back is their quarterback in Allen, but I mean, I don't even think that he would have sniffed the field having Damian Harris, Cook. You even have Latavius Murray on that team too, who can get you some production as far as receiving. So I don't think it's a loss at all.
Yeah, I didn't even know they signed Damian Harris. That's kind of a sneaky good signing, because when it gets cold out there, just give them the ball and pound it. Oh, wait, Absolutely. They still like to throw the ball when it's an 80-mile-an-hour wind, but whatever. We'll digress from that. Arthur Brown's in the chat. He says, no way. Hoffy, you and Arthur Brown need to become acquainted, right? Arthur Brown is a huge Miami Dolphins fan. He is all on board with the Tua, with the Hill, the Waddle, and whoever else. He has been a fan since Ryan Fitzpatrick took over that team and said, go, go, go.
Good old Fitzmagic.
Good old Fitzmagic. Marquis Goodwin. Do you know who Marquis Goodwin is, Hoffy?
Yeah.
Marquis Goodwin, guys. He is the receiver for the Cleveland Browns. He has been put on the PUP list for the 2023 season after they found blood clots in his body. First things first, prayers to him, man. Blood clots at like 25, 26 years old. That is some scary stuff. You can have aneurysms, a seizure, heart attack, whatever. Definitely, personal life aside, we are talking strictly on the field here. So blood clots, sorry that you're going to miss the season. But way or no way, Hoffy, is this a huge way or a huge loss for the Cleveland Browns moving forward that Marquis Goodwin is out for the 2023 season for the foreseeable future? And I've been kind of going back and forth on this a little bit. I have said on record that I do think the Cleveland Browns have the best wide receiver core in the AFC, if not even the NFL. Better than Hill and Waddle, better than Jamar Chase and Boyd, better than whoever you want to put out there. I think they have one of the best cores on the whole entire NFL. They have Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Cedric Tillman. I think he is going to make some noise this year, his rookie year. That Marquis Goodwin is out. They still got David Bell. They got David Njoku, plus Nick Chubb, right? They are by far one of the best cores out there. Now, with that being said, this is not a huge loss for them because of all the names that I just mentioned there. Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper, and their rookie, Cedric Tillman. This gives him an opportunity to really step up and manufacture as that third guy on that team, as that number 3 receiver. He is going to make some noise. Hell, he might even be rookie of the year now that he has more room to grow, more room to, spread his wings and fly. This is not a big loss for them. It sucks for Marquise. This could be a career-ending illness that he has, and it sucks. But on the field side, it's not a huge loss for them at the end of the day.
I agree. I mean, Moore, Tillman, Peoples-Jones, Amari Cooper, and David Bell, I think, were locks on that team. So that leaves out Marquis Goodwin as a potential cut coming out of camp, I believe. So I really think he was battling for a roster spot.
Yeah.
I don't think he was going to be the number 2. So I do think that it's not a loss. It might benefit him because now he gets paid to take the year off instead of being cut and being out of a job.
Right. So Arthur Brown brings up a point that I did not know this, but this is the Chris Boss sickness, and it actually may ruin his whole career. And I did not know that it was that bad. So, Chris Bosh, I still don't understand how this stuff kind of just manifests. Chris Bosh was a 10-15 year NBA career player, and then all of a sudden his blood gets too thick and it starts to clot. I just I'm no doctor, but I mean it definitely sucks for them at the end of the day. So prayers out to him, but unfortunately it is not a big loss for the Cleveland Browns. It actually, I think it makes them a little bit better. It adds an extra roster pot, and there's a receiver out there from the Miami Dolphins that could possibly be looking for a team in Cedric Wilson. So maybe the Browns make a play to bring Cedric Wilson on, like a little bit of speedster, right? Add some speed to that roster as is. Hoffy, I think the Browns might win the North this year. Yes, they were a 4th place team last season, but you have to realize that Deshaun Watson only played 4 games last season. Jacoby Brissett was their guy, and they also got Kellen.
The Ravens are scrambling at the running back position.
Yeah,
with injuries as well. So I could easily see that happen. I think Deshaun Watson is due to have, year 2, full second year is due to have a breakout year.
Yeah, and I saw a meme of him walking into Brown's camp with some shorts on, and people said he looked really relaxed and really fulfilled during camp. So hopefully,
Sure, he was relaxed. He just had a massage.
I'm glad you caught the pun there. So, Hoffy, it's kind of a short show today. It is what it is. I didn't have a lot of time to plan or prepare because my little man's going to kindergarten today, man. We going back to school, not here in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Man, life is short. It sucks.
Summer's already over for you?
So we go like year around school. So our summer vacation's roughly about 5-6 weeks, maybe. So yeah, it sucks. It is what it is. But we'll be back tomorrow, guys, 2 p.m. East Coast time. It'll be a hell of a lot better show. I'll have time to prepare. And Hoffy will get a little bit of loosey-goosey. Something about showing boobies or something. I don't know. Hoffy, any last thoughts?
No,
right.
not after that one.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.